So, who's ever seen an instant induction? Only a few? That's interesting. Well, guess what? You'll be doing them today. In fact, you'll be doing them in about 2 minutes' time. Now, the thing about instant inductions is they are kind of, there's a physical component, so it's just a mechanical thing. And after that, it's just a question of getting all the steps right after it. It's really understanding the process, and once you do that, they are the simplest, easiest, most natural thing in the world to do. But the cool thing is, they're probably the most impressive way of using hypnosis. And ironically, they're the easiest thing to do. So, to start you guys off, we're going to do basically what you did a moment ago, only this time we're going to start getting used to the physical aspects of doing an instant induction. We're going to get used to the mechanics, so you can do the mechanics. Then we'll build that up into the full induction, and before you know it, you're going to actually live up to your reputation, which will be nice. So I'm going to encourage you again to stand up. Can I just borrow a volunteer for a moment? A volunteer? A volunteer. Come on up. David, it's over here. Thank you. Nice round of applause. Polite audience, aren't they? They're great.
Indeed.
David, would you like to go into hypnosis?
Of course.
Okay, just turn around this way. Feet together, face me. Your hips will always support your body. Your legs will support your hips. Look at me. And take a deep breath. Breathe out. Sleep all the way down. Relax. Deeper, deeper. And there you go. The more you relax, the deeper you go. The deeper you go, the better you feel. The better you feel, the more you learn about hypnosis, because, David, you're going to have the most amazing experiences during this week, because your unconscious knows, really knows, how to go into learning trances. Now, in a moment I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you'll open your eyes, feeling refreshed, relaxed, alert. Simply fantastic. Ready to rock and roll and show the world all that you are capable of. So, ready to do that now. 1, coming up slowly. 2, more and more alert. 3, taking a little deep breath. 4, almost there. 5, open your eyes, feeling refreshed, relaxed, alert. How are you feeling?
Excellent.
Well, good job. Well done. Little round of applause. Thank you very much. Now, does that look hard? It's not really. Seriously, it's just a question of doing a sequence of steps to the point that it becomes second nature. Now, I'm not going to expect you to do that yet. All we're going to do is going to practice that step by step until you do exactly what you saw me doing without even thinking about it. Wouldn't that be cool? Yeah. Right. Can I just borrow you for a moment just to show what we're going to do? So the first exercise we're going to do, I'm going to encourage you again, get as much experience as tall people, short people, big people, little people, so you get different body types so you understand how the whole thing works. Right? Now, what's the most important thing you need to get hypnosis? What are the 3 main conditions to get trance? Attention, bypass critical factor, stimulate the unconscious, right? It's the classic ABS formula. You've all come across this before, right? Get attention, bypass the critical factor, stimulate the unconscious, right? That's all we're going to be doing here. So the first thing we want, of course, is attention. So what do? You're going to grab someone. I encourage touch. Right? I encourage touch. If somebody don't want to be touched, just mention that, but it does help, especially doing instant inductions. And just grab their attention. That's it. Was that difficult to do? How are you doing?
Very well.
Excellent. Is that difficult to do, guys? You grab someone, and you get their full attention, and you got it. So find a partner. You have 60 seconds to get as many people in as you can, and then we'll carry on. Off you go. Thank you. Just stay where you are and turn and face in, because we're going to be adding a lot of little layers onto this very quickly. So there's no point sitting down, because you just get really good leg muscles that way. Okay, so that's easy, right? Now, what are we looking for? What am I looking for when I'm doing this? Any ideas?
Eye contact.
Yeah, I'm looking. Actually, even the eye contact, it's a bonus. But what I'm really looking forward to, what I'm really looking for is, do I have their attention? Now, you'll typically see this. When you first grab someone, there'll be a little startled response, and then they'll settle down. And there'll be a moment right after settle down where it's almost like, okay, they're kind of like the engine's running, but no one knows where they're going. That's what you're looking for. So initially, they'll go, okay, I've got your attention. You've got my attention. Now what? And then they'll go, okay, I'm settling into this. That's the bit you're looking for. When you see their mind going, does that make sense? Did anyone spot that whilst you were doing this? You're starting getting used to this.
You don't say anything, you're just getting their attention.
Yeah, right now, I mean, we will be saying things when you get the whole thing. Now you're getting used to the physical mechanism. Then we're going to add the language on top of that, and before you know it, people will be dropping to the floor like flies. It's true. So, are you ready to add a little bit more? Can I borrow you for this a second? Sure. So, you have... There you go. Thank you. You felt that, right? Their attention's telling you down. Good. So you've got their attention now. All you can do now is take your hand and you're going to gently cup it in the back of the head. The back of the head is made to cup hands. I don't know why, but it just fits perfectly. And all you're going to do is you look at them, get eye contact, and have this position. Nothing more. So you're going to go grab them, settle, over here, nothing more. Easy? Okay, to as many people as you can, and then come on back. So the key thing is, can I borrow you again? What we're not looking to do yet is to move him. He's physically there. All you're going to do is put your hand, you're preparing for something else. So there's no need to move him yet. We'll add that in a moment. Just right now, all you're doing is just settling yourself, getting yourself ready for the big move. Ready? Off you go. Okay, that's easy, right? Now, remember, and this is something you'll get, something interesting will happen here. With some people, you'll feel more comfortable putting your hand on the back of the head than with others. Anyone noticing this yet? Right? That's just a natural part of interaction. Some people you just click with more easily, others you don't. So you get used to that. Why? Because you want to be comfortable even with the people that you're not. Right? Well, actually, you're not people anyway, but you see what I mean, right? So you're going to start getting comfortable because if you're uncomfortable, they'll be uncomfortable. If they're uncomfortable, it just makes your task a little bit harder. So get comfortable, let your hand rest gently on the back, and then we're ready to do the next step. For the next step, can I borrow you? What you're going to do now is, you've settled them, your hands here, you're going to be ready to make the move. So what I want to do now is I want to make sure that my body is half facing. Do you see how his shoulder is in line with the shirt buttons of my shirt? Or my nose, that whole half line. His head is in line with my shoulder. Now I want this because in a moment's time, we're going to bring him forward onto the shoulder. What you don't want to be happening is standing in front of them and bring him forward. That does capture people's attention, but not quite in the way that you want to. Does that make sense to everyone? So you really make a point of standing half facing, so their shoulder typically will be in line with you. If it's a big person, remember, the aim is shoulder to forehead. That's what you're aiming for. This thing here is just a, general line-up type thing. So again, as quickly as possible, as many people as possible, find the position, and we'll continue. Was that easy to do? Go ahead.
Are we supposed to rotate our bodies first before we put the hand behind the head, or put the hand there and then?
Doesn't matter, really. All that matters is that you end up in the position. Can I borrow you a moment, Gloria? All that matters is that you end up in this position as quickly as possible, okay? With their attention firmly fixed on you. Make sense? So, you're ready to do the big move, right? And then actually, well, how long did that take? Like 5 minutes? Okay, can I borrow you for a moment? So the first thing you're going to do is if they're wearing glasses, you make sure that this happens. They take them off. So they can either have them on there, better still in pockets. Don't let them hold anything in their hands because that'll distract them. The best place to do is just take their glasses and say, I'll take care of these for you. Can I just take glasses and put them on? Just so they can see the whole process. Put them on a second. Great, thank you. So you're ready to go into hypnosis? Answer yes. Okay. Can I just borrow your glasses a moment? I'll take care of them for you. That's it. Thank you much. I'll take care of these for you. Make sure he sees them going somewhere safe, because people who wear glasses, I know, they want to know that class is going to be okay. But now there's no distractions for him, and more importantly, there's nothing going to start squashing his face when you do the big move, right? So then you get their attention, hand on here, get yourself ready. Now all you're going to do now is gently as if you're rocking a baby, is tip them forward and bring their head onto your shoulder until you're taking a little bit of their weight. Now, a couple of things will happen at this point. With some people, you'll be comfortable here. With other people, particularly people who are taller or heavier, you may want to take half a step back with one foot, just so you can take a little bit of pressure, a little bit of weight onto what you're doing. I want you to experiment and take a little bit of extra time with this, because you'll notice that different people feel different ways, and you want to make sure that you are on balance. Because if both of you end up going down on the floor, it may be very impressive, but again, it's not quite the show that you're looking for. Does that make sense, everyone? So again, get as many different body types as you can, and just get a sense for feeling a bit of weight on that shoulder and supporting it. Whether it's feet apart, whether it's one foot a little bit further behind than the other, you're going to bend your foot like you're about to ram someone. I really don't mind. Just experiment a bit. Make sense? Off you go. Pause. Just remember, guys, if someone's got glasses, do remember to take them off before you do this whole physical element. And let them take their own glasses off first and then take them off them. If you actually reach up to the face, it can be a little bit invasive. It's all right, that's why we're here, right? But do get a chance. If someone's got sunglasses, put them on anyway to get someone a chance to practice the whole physical aspect of managing glasses and stuff like that. Does that make sense to you guys? Carry on with what you're doing. Is this easy so far? Yes. Hopefully I'm not like overtaxing things yet. That'll come later in the week. So, okay, we're here. Can I borrow you, Rashid? We're here. We've got the physical management. You've managed to take control of him physically, right? You've got his attention. Your hand is there, getting ready for the big thing. You're standing here. You know what the whole movement's going to feel and look like because you've got this whole thing going on here. Now we're going to do something which it's going to take a little bit of control in how we do this. Now, a lot of people see the induction and think, yes, I'm going to slap him upside the head. And, well, that's technically known as a knockout, right? That's not a trance. It's very important that when you do the shock element, this is called the shock induction, the shock element has to be done gently. Why? Because this is someone's neck you're talking about here, right? You do not want to be taking risks with people's necks. So what I'm going to encourage you guys to do is to find out what is the least amount that you can do to get this effect, if I may. Okay, you're here. Simple as that. Notice, I'll use maybe your shoulder because it's quite a solid guy. What I'm not doing is, can you imagine that in the back of your head? Would that be pleasant? Right? What I'm not doing is this. All right? Can you imagine that? That's called accident, right? Cars do that to you, not people. So what I want you to do is cup your hand on the back of his neck. Now, whether you bring it to your shoulder or not, I don't mind for now. All I want you to do is see how little pressure you can put in the back here to get that little jolt. Okay? So now I'm going to do it. Let's imagine I'm going to do it with my grandmother. And I'm not going to be doing anything like that because the head might go flying off and I don't want that. So I'm going to be doing just a very gentle tip. You see how I can just do it with the tip of my finger? And you still get that reaction, don't you? You have that feeling of like what just happened there. Right. It's a very sensitive part of the head, so you don't really need that much. So let me just emphasize this. Try different people again. Try different things. People give feedback. If it felt like it's just too hard, like your neck's being wrenched out, then make sure you tell them. Other than that, just get a sense of, you know, where it is. What's the least thing you can do to get this kind of like reaction there? Is that simple?
Igor,
yes.
Are you using your other hand and your body all to sort of lead
That's going to come in a moment. For the moment, all I want you to focus on is this one hand, and the amount, even if I do it without the other thing, this is what I'm looking for. This I'm using to stabilize the body, and then this I'm going to use to guide into my shoulder later on. But those are elements we'll build up to in a moment. The key thing I want you to understand is whether you're left or right-handed, what do you do with this hand? You're placing it first, gently, and at the right time, you need to induce a little shock, which is going to be the whole doorway into trance that happens. But you need to do it in a way that's safe for the other person. Does that make sense?
Igor, I just felt your whole hand there, but when I felt the pull, it was only like 2 fingers.
Exactly.
So that's what
okay. So just to emphasize, you can use the whole hand if you want, but I actually end up doing, if I'm doing it in the air, here's my whole hand. I end up just using my fingers to do the work. Why? Because my fingers aren't going to be as strong as the whole forearm ripping down towards the ground, right? So you're going to be gentle with this. See if you can do just, I'm going to use the shoulder movement just so you can get different types of taps. You can see if you can do this, if you can do this. Tap with one finger, tap with 2 fingers. Just try different things out until you get a sense of, oh, I have a rhythm here, this is what it feels like, and you know what you can do given the other person. Make sense? Start with less effort and then build up rather than the other way around, because if you start killing people in my seminar, I think I'll have problems with the police. All right, guys? Off you go. So, did you experiment with different touches, lighter, heavier, faster, slower? And you know there's like a range that you can work with. Is that correct? Okay. It's important because it looks a lot more impressive. It looks a lot more, shall we say, violent than it really is. It's actually a very gentle touch. Hopefully you're getting the hang of that now. So how do you put the whole thing together? Any ideas? A room full of hypnotists. No, I don't know. Don't look at me. Well, basically you do everything you've just been doing. Can I borrow you, Sophia? Come on up. So I should stand this way so everyone can see you from the same angle as before. So we've got the fixation of attention. My hand will come at the back over here. I'm going to stand slightly over here. Now, when you do your little tug and you bring them in forwards, there's only one thing you need to know at that point. right? And this isn't the complete induction yet because there's one little piece missing, which we'll talk about after this. The only thing you're going to say, this is the magic word. Do you know what it is? So you guys are great. Now, technically, there is something that needs to follow immediately afterwards, and I'll explain why and what that is in a moment. For the moment, don't think of that you're doing an induction. You're practicing the physical mechanism, all the bits put together. Is that okay with you guys? Mm-hmm. Now, luckily, you've got these great hypnotists who are also great trance subjects, and they'll do a great job pretending to go into trance for you whilst you're getting used to the mechanics. Is that a fair deal? Mm-hmm. So while someone's doing it with you, just do your best thing to emulate every trance zombie experience you can think of. Because they'll feel good for them, and then they'll do you the favor in return. You go, you see, I am a great hypnotist. Okay? So this is 90% of the induction we're about to do, but there's a little piece missing at the end which is going to really seal the deal off, and we'll talk about that more because there's some psychology that we need to know about. You ready for this? So, look at me. Take a deep breath. Breathe out. Sleep all the way. That's right. All the way. There you go. Doing great. I'd like to thank your unconscious mind for this great demonstration, because in a moment, I'm going to count from 1 to 5. At the count of 5, you'll come back feeling refreshed, relaxed, alert, simply fantastic, feeling better than you felt in a long, long time, knowing that inside, your unconscious mind is making great new connections that makes you an amazing hypnotist now. So count 1, coming up slowly, 2, bring yourself back together, 3, taking a deep breath, 4, almost there, 5, open your eyes, feeling refreshed, relaxed, alert. How are you doing?
Very good.
Great. A nice little hand. Now, I added a few little bits in the end, so don't worry about the stuff at the end. Does that look complicated, given what you've just done? It's actually just really what you've just done, putting all the bits together, right? So take a few minutes now, and really just get comfortable with all the steps. Do it slowly if you want to, and then slightly start speeding up. Speed is not of the essence. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do in terms of timing is the timing of the word sleep comes at the same time as the little jerk on the back of the head. So it's sleep. It isn't sleep, and it isn't sleep, right? That second one is better, but ideally, as one happens and the nervous system gets startled, that's when you give the instruction. Does that make sense, everyone? Yeah? So just, it's a little bit of a timing thing. Go ahead, Erica.
I noticed you kept your hand behind her head. I mean, do you just
Yes.
continue supporting her head, or do you just do a jolt and leave your hand down?
Please do continue supporting their head, no matter where it ends up, because even with this, a lot of people will end up going into trance by accident, so you want to make sure you physically support them at all times. You can take your hand off later if you want, but I actually like physical contact because it actually creates a more pleasant and hence a more, should we say, seductive experience. And I don't mean that in a sexual way, just in the sense of you want to go with the experience. It's just more pleasant. Does that make sense? Go ahead.
I noticed you had her take a deep breath and let it out as you did it.
That's just a little distraction for her because she knows what's coming, and I don't want to know when it's coming. And actually, it also helps to settle people in terms of focus and stuff like that. So if I see someone who's a little bit nervous, I'll probably do a couple of rounds of that. A, so they don't know when it's coming. It also helps them settle down a bit, so I can tell that they're following my instructions, which means the next bit's going to be that little bit easier. But we'll talk more about those nuances once you get the basic characteristics. Okay, guys? Off you go.